In today's episode, we're going to debate the saying, leaders are readers, and determine how leaders are learners is probably the better saying. Stay tuned to hear why and how you can lead the way by learning as well. You may have heard the saying that leaders are readers. I would like to take that a step further. I truly believe that the main reason this is a reality is because people who are constantly reading are constantly learning. In the last episode, we talked about determining which areas of your life would be the most beneficial for you to set actionable goals for. One of my examples was the area entitled intellectual. And as I thought, so many of you, if you are not enrolled in a higher education at the moment, haven't given any thought to intellectual goals for years. So I just want to give you a little inspiration and motivation on why this is so critical as one of the areas that you should intentionally pursue for your dreams and goals. I, for one, am an avid learner. I can mostly attribute this to the fact that I'm an avid reader as well. But what I've realized, just like we talked about last time, is that the days and months can race by, and reading is one of the things that was easily set aside. A few years ago, I recognized this fact, and it actually made me sad. So I set an intentional goal to read in the evenings instead of spending so much time on social media. I truly believe that as technology has increased and the access to handheld devices becomes the norm, the old-fashioned way of learning has had to become more intentional than ever before. Okay, hear me out. I'm not bashing technology or handheld devices in this particular case. In fact, one of the things that I love about my iPad or Kindle is that I can hold hundreds of books in my hands from every genre to be picked up at a moment's notice, depending on what I'm in the mood for. I can read fiction, fantasy, historical, theological, or biographies, as well as having the option to read and learn a new skill. You get the idea. In fact, Kindle has reading challenges all the time for accountability, and I don't know why, but I love digital awards for some reason. Shout out to the Bible app on this one as well. I just earned an award this morning, in fact. Hey, let me know if virtual awards like this inspire you towards accountability. Maybe I can integrate something like this into our goal setting that will inspire us both. Okay, let's get back on track. Like I said, you have heard that leaders are readers, but my timeless truth today is that in reality, learners are leaders. So now you can see why intellectual is on our wheel as a spoke. In order for you to become the person that you were created to be, as you set your goals and you make steps towards achieving your dreams, there's going to be things that you're going to have to learn and pursue intellectually along the way. Do you remember that preparation part of setting goals? Well, just in case you missed it, go back and listen to episode 5. Okay, now if you're not a reader, please don't get discouraged and turn me off right now. Remember, with technology today, learning is so much more versatile, as well as accessible. And I would even venture to say, at times, it's a lot more fun. So tell me what your favorite form of learning new information is. Is it books, podcasts, courses, YouTube, etc.? I would love for you to share that with me. In fact, we recently had a long weekend, and as much as I love to read, do you know how I actually filled the extra time? I took some online courses to hopefully make me a little more engaging with you doing this podcast, as well as combating the bane of my existence, social media. Not to age myself or anything, but I did grow up in the era of phones that were attached to the wall, not our hands. Okay, getting back to our podcast. Hopefully you've joined me as we're in the middle right now of our reset challenge. This is a perfect time to determine how to gain new information about the goal you're pursuing. But I would also like to remind you and encourage you that any time is a perfect time to do a reset and reevaluation of your goals and dreams. Actually, I sometimes believe that if you've stopped dreaming, you've stopped living. So let's go back and look at your goals. If you got stuck in the preparation section of clarifying your goal, this may be really helpful for you. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with the thought of learning. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to go reapply to school, but it might. Let me give you some examples here. If you wanted to get your driver's license for the first time, you would have to take a driver's education class, right? And if you would like to become a certified archery instructor, you would take a basic archery instructor course. I don't want you to keep learning in a box. And you know how I said that some of those courses could actually be fun? Well, one of the hardest things for me to do as a people person is to interact virtually through Zoom or even just via the phone to learn. But several years ago, when I was pursuing my life coaching certification, I took several hours of courses online for over 3 years. But the fun part was actually getting to practice with other coaching students online or over the phone. And the reason it was so fun to me is because I feel like life coaching is equivalent to creating a beautiful masterpiece. If you've ever been to an art museum, and right now I'm thinking about the Metropolitan Museum in New York City, the Louvre in Paris, the Smithsonian National Gallery of Art in DC, you get the idea. And then you're standing before some of the greatest masterpieces ever created throughout all time. This is the kind of masterpiece I'm talking about. And this is your life, beautiful dreamer. Your life is a beautiful masterpiece. In fact, one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Ephesians 2:10, where it says that you are God's masterpiece. And the actual meaning comes from the word poema, and that's where we get our word poem from. It says that you were created to do great works that He predestined for you to do. Now do you understand my passion in desiring to help you fulfill the life that you were actually created to live? That life is destined to be a masterpiece. That's why I've stepped so far out of my comfort zone to come alongside you and help you clarify what this path actually looks like. I truly believe the dreams are built within you, and I love partnering with you to pull them out and put them down on paper and to create actionable steps so that you can wake up day after day, morning after morning, and step into the destiny that you were meant to fulfill. Now, if you've been sitting back intimidated for years, because just like that dream God has called you to is something so far out of your comfort zone, and even more than that, so far out of anything that you know or recognize as a skill or ability, then you're in good company right now, beautiful dreamer. You may laugh, but it wasn't too long ago that I wasn't even capable of using a laptop with any kind of skill or efficiency. In fact, there were times that I was on the brink of tears because of the frustration of my lack of knowledge and ability. But that didn't stop me, and it shouldn't stop you. I, just like you, had to stretch myself and learn new skills. And look at me now. Who would have ever believed that I would be using all of these technological devices just to reach out? Because I believe in your dreams so much that I was willing to climb that mountain to help you make your dreams a reality. So what is that one thing that you need to write down in your preparation steps to learn in the next few weeks or months? As much as this seems like a one-way conversation for me and you, I would love for it to be a two-way conversation with the two of us. Now, my preference would be over lunch or a cup of coffee. But until that's possible, I want to ask you a favor, because it's way more difficult for me to help you accomplish your goal if I don't even know what it is. So leave me a comment, or if you would prefer a little more privacy, send me a message to let me know what goal you're pursuing and what you need to learn to accomplish that goal. Once you've started that and written it down in your worksheet from a few episodes back, the next step is to determine how you're going to learn that new skill that is keeping you from moving forward. Remember, I get it. This is a scary season. And if you don't even know how to figure that part out, the part about what you need to pursue to learn first, let's do a little exercise. With all the AI and ChatGPT stuff out there, there's no reason for us to stay stranded. Okay, I want you to just take your goal and put it into your favorite internet browser search tab. It would look something like this. First step to becoming a photographer. You can actually insert anything here. Okay, I just did it. And I came up with everything from creating a website for your photography business to the first steps of learning how to use a camera, what cameras to invest in, or for very beginners, what type of equipment to even begin looking at. And this is what I did when I first started. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have lighting. I did a lot of searching and learning on the internet. Then the next step I did was to take some online courses. And finally, this could be your first step as well. I asked other people who were already doing what I wanted to do and how they got to where they were and how they started. Remember I told you a while back? Most people would love to share how they got to where they are with you. So you can see, beautiful dreamer, that becoming a learner to accomplish that dream that you were created to fulfill isn't actually that hard. In fact, it's really a lot of fun once you get started. After you get past the awkward, I don't know what I'm doing stage, it can actually become addictive. The more I learn, the more I want to learn. And as a byproduct, the better I become at pursuing the dream that God gave me and put in my heart. So now you can see why my timeless truth is actually that learners are leaders. Because the more you learn, eventually you will become the person that others are coming to find out how you created that masterpiece of a life that you are living. If this inspired you, please like and share it with your friends so that they can also realize the masterpiece that God created them to be and to fulfill those God-given dreams that are still deep inside of them. And remember, you are not in this alone. I love getting to see you step out and into your dreams and finally realize that being able to pursue your happily ever after isn't a lie.